Hi, everybody. Welcome to an edition of Yo on the Go Leadership Moments. Today, I have a very special guest, Ziyue, who has a doctorate in medical imaging and electrical engineering and sciences. And he is a senior scientist at the NVIDIA Corporation. And I just want to welcome you, Dr. Zhu. And thank you so much for coming to speak with us, especially since your focus has been on imaging and medical imaging, and yet you're working in a graphics company. And I know that we're very excited to have you actually as a speaker for the IEEE Rising Stars Conference. And we're excited to have you and excited to hear about your story. So I'd like to hear how you came from a career as a lab manager at the NIH and now switched over to become a senior scientist at the NVIDIA Corporation.
Oh, thanks, Terrence. Glad to be here. So the story is actually not that complicated. I actually didn't switch gear much during this transition from NIH to NVIDIA. So essentially, what we do is doing the research on the radiology image analysis projects. And before and after I made the switch, I actually didn't. There's no much difference between the two. Our work is still doing the fundamental algorithm design and development, maybe a little bit more towards practical applications to enable others to create an ecosystem so that everyone can benefit from what we achieve in NVIDIA, rather than more towards theoretical development as we do in NIH. So the reason I make the switch is because I have been doing research on this topic ever since the pre-deep learning era. And what I observe is that after deep learning kicks in, we sort of everything moved towards the deep learning. Most of previous algorithm they suffers from robustness issues, they suffer from accuracy issues. But after at this time of deep learning, we can sort of sort those issues out with the latest developments. And so previously more at the research level can now actually be used in the clinical practice or clinical research practice.
Wonderful. I think that's really exciting to hear. I remember my first experience with NVIDIA was buying a Riva 128 card and getting it from the store, paying all this money, and then seeing the capabilities that it afforded versus the 3DFX platform. And to see it emerge from not just a gaming company, but to a graphics processing unit, a GPU company, and then now, being able to do deep learning AI, I think it's a really interesting evolution of the capabilities of the company. And I remember seeing some of the CUDA work that came out. It was the first thing that came out in the industry to be able to utilize those GPUs as stream processors. Those are really exciting trends. And I'm really excited to hear that you've kind of taken that to the next level through seeing that as an enterprise level, right? At the NIH, you're able to work at a certain level, creating tools. But in this case, you're creating tools for the greater good of all humanity. I think that's something really important in terms of IEEE has always been focused on developing technology for the advancement of humanity. And I think that's a really, really great, noble task. And I just want to ask you, you were a lab manager at the NIH, working in a team. You're still working in a team, but in a slightly different role. What's the most difficult part of being a leader in this realm, being in NVIDIA and working with your prior colleagues at the NIH?
So let me let me check if I understand correctly. Let's first give a brief background of my work. So back in NIH, I was a staff scientist and lab manager, and so I have a small group of at peak time maybe 5 to 6 people consisting of postbacs and postdocs. And so it's similar to a lab in the university where people discuss about the topics we want to solve and the method we're gonna use. But yeah, that's the story of NIH. And after I moved to NVIDIA, currently I'm more of a individual contributor scientist. So I kind of do more hands-on job myself. And yeah, that's another good experience for me to learn a lot of new things and implement the software myself. Another thing is working with collaborators from my old colleagues in NIH. They are doctors, but they are really talented, and they're gonna understand what the method we use and how the performance will be, and they give us really good, wonderful suggestions on how to make our system better. Yeah, without knowing the clinical background and the clinical needs, we will never develop a good system just based on our own technical background. Yeah.
So I think that's a really important point that you brought out, is that everybody is sort of a leader in their own right, back in NIH as well as in your current role today. And I think the question I have is, I think that's really great to be able to lead in different ways, but to work together as a group. How do you stay motivated on your tasks as you are working in your own areas, trying to develop your own tools, but also collaborating in a collegiate environment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an important point here. That's academia environments, and that time the major motivation for us is to, okay, can we look at this problem from a different perspective, and can we inspire other people so that maybe, okay, a better solution can come out of this work. So that's from the research point of view. And now for a more practical role in this industry, research lab, our main goal is to not only to open up a new perspective towards a specific challenge, but also we need to end up with some practical and tools that others can use. If your tool is shown to be pretty accurate, but it takes 1 or 2 days to process a single seating image, that's not practical. And that's and also if your tool takes a lot of human effort to make say annotation, it doesn't save time for our doctors, then that is also not useful for our purpose. How can I create a tool that is really helpful for the doctors? And it's shown to be they can use this tool either to make their life easier, or to make to achieve something that they cannot achieve before without using this tool. So there's a little bit difference from the motivations before. Is developing some very novel ideas, and now it's more like getting things to make it into real practice, real work. Yeah, and also our goal here is to sometimes it's not actually develop a solution, but develop a platform that others can use to make their own solutions. So that's another level of motivation for us in doing what we are currently working on.
That sounds extremely exciting, and I'm super excited to have you on the show and to be able to be part of the IEEE Rising Stars. Ziyue, thank you so much for your time, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the IEEE Rising Stars conference in 2021. Anybody interested in coming along, and we're looking forward to you viewers to come along and see Ziyue and other star presenters at the conference. Please sign up below. The links will be active. And until next time, bye.